What you're about to hear was never meant to be popular science. Because if it's true, it means nature once allowed something that should not exist. 60 million years ago, after the dinosaurs were wiped out, the world was supposed to be safe again. Smaller, calmer, balanced. But deep inside the steaming jungles of prehistoric South America, something appeared that ignored every biological limit we know. Not a dinosaur, not a dragon, not a myth. A snake. A snake so massive that its body alone could crush a modern bus. So long it could wrap around a city street. And so heavy that, according to today's physics, it shouldn't have been able to move at all. Yet it did. Scientists named it Titanoboa. But that name doesn't explain the real problem. Because Titanoboa didn't just break size records. It broke the rules of nature itself. Rules about how big cold-blooded animals can grow, how muscles generate force, how bones, lungs, and blood should function. Rules that still govern every reptile alive today. And here's the terrifying part. If Titanoboa existed once, then the limits we believe protect our world were never permanent. So tonight, we're not just asking how big Titanoboa was. We're asking, why could it exist then, but not now? What conditions allowed nature to turn off its safety locks? And what would happen if those conditions returned? Because Titanoboa wasn't an accident. It was a warning. The discovery that shocked science. In the early 2000s, coal miners in Sargent, Colombia weren't looking for history. They were digging for fuel. Instead, they uncovered vertebrae so massive that researchers initially assumed they belonged to a crocodile or a fragment of a dinosaur. But the bones kept appearing, and they didn't match anything known. Each vertebra was the size of a dinner plate, perfectly preserved, identical in structure to modern snakes, just scaled to a horrifying extreme. When paleontologists reconstructed the skeleton, the results were uncomfortable. This animal was over 42 feet long, weighed more than 1,100 kilograms, and lived after the dinosaurs went extinct. That timing mattered, because Titanoboa didn't evolve in a wild, chaotic dinosaur world. It evolved in what should have been a recovery period. Instead of shrinking, nature escalated. Why Titanoboa should have been impossible. Modern snakes are limited by biology. They're ectothermic, cold-blooded. Their body temperature depends on the environment. Their muscles lose efficiency at large scales. Their organs struggle under extreme mass. Past a certain size, a snake shouldn't be able to circulate blood efficiently, digest prey fast enough, move without collapsing under its own weight. Yet Titanoboa did all of this, meaning the rules were different. Not bent, not stretched, disabled. The atmosphere that shouldn't have existed. Titanoboa should not have been possible. Not at that size. Not with lungs. Not with a cold-blooded metabolism. 58 feet long. Over a ton in weight. A body so massive it rewrites what biology allows reptiles to be. And yet it existed. The secret wasn't the snake. It was the planet. 60 million years ago, Earth was not the world we know. Carbon dioxide levels were nearly double today's. Average global temperatures were 10 to 12 degrees Celsius hotter. There were no ice caps, no cold oceans, no seasonal relief. The air itself was heavier, richer, more forgiving to massive bodies. In that environment, Titanoboa didn't need speed. It didn't need venom. It didn't need aggression. It had physics on its side. Warm temperatures allowed constant muscle efficiency. High humidity prevented dehydration at scale. Dense forests and vast swamps supported enormous prey populations. This wasn't a snake fighting nature. It was a snake enabled by nature. And here's the disturbing implication. Titanoboa didn't evolve against limits. It evolved without them. Which means size wasn't the anomaly. Size was the result. And when Earth cooled, the rules changed. But rules changing doesn't always mean extinction. Sometimes it means adaptation. The modern anomalies science can't close. There are places today where ecosystems don't behave correctly. Regions where large animals vanish without remains. Predators avoid entire river systems. Food chains appear incomplete. The Amazon, the Congo Basin, remote wetlands in Southeast Asia. Biologists record anomalies, then move on. Because anomalies don't fit funding models. And every few decades, something surfaces. Anaconda-sized reports dismissed as exaggeration. Unconfirmed snake sightings too large to classify. Sonar anomalies in deep rivers that don't match known species. Nothing conclusive. Nothing repeatable. And that's the point. If a Titanoboa descendant existed today, it wouldn't be common. It wouldn't be dominant. It would be rare, territorial, and avoidant. The most successful predator in a human world is the one humans never confirm. Why Titanoboa disappeared, but its lineage didn't. Officially, Titanoboa went extinct as the planet cooled. Temperatures dropped. Swamps receded. Large ectothermic predators lost efficiency. That explanation is comfortable, but comfort isn't evidence. Because extinction leaves trails, population decline patterns, transitional fossils, sudden ecosystem imbalance. Titanoboa leaves very little of that. Instead, we see size reduction in serpent fossils, increased aquatic specialization, more nocturnal behavior indicators. That's not disappearance. That's retreat. Evolution doesn't always kill what no longer fits. Sometimes it compresses it. Smaller bodies, lower energy requirements, reduced visibility. The same genetic blueprint, just quieter. And here's the problem with that idea. A lineage that learned how to survive extreme abundance would be dangerously good at surviving scarcity, which means Titanoboa's end may not be an ending at all. It may be the moment the world stopped noticing. What if Titanoboa came back today? The modern world collapse scenario. Imagine this is not the past. Imagine it's tomorrow morning. A seismic anomaly is detected deep in the Amazon basin. Satellites register unusual heat pockets moving under dense rainforest. At first, scientists assume magma shifts or underground water flows. Then, the trees begin to fall. Not burned, not cut, crushed sideways. Titanoboa, fully grown, would not hunt in the modern world the way snakes do today. It wouldn't need to. Cities, farms, highways, dams, all of them are unnatural prey traps. A single Titanoboa could collapse suspension bridges by coiling around pylons, shut down hydroelectric dams by blocking water intake, cause rolling blackouts across entire regions without attacking a human once. And here's the terrifying part most people never think about. Modern animals have lost their instinct to fear something this large. There is no evolutionary memory for it. Cars would stop. Crowds would freeze. Drones would hover too close. Titanoboa wouldn't rush. It would wait. Snakes don't waste energy. They let panic do the work. Military response. Missiles are useless in dense jungle. Explosives risk environmental catastrophe. Gas dispersal fails against a creature that can hold breath for over an hour. And if even two Titanoboas existed, you wouldn't have an invasion. You'd have territorial domination. Entire regions would become no-go zones. Supply chains would reroute. Governments would deny footage. Social media would explode with leaks, grainy videos, half-covered shapes moving through rivers at night. And people would argue online. Fake. CGI. Marketing stunt. Right up until the evacuations begin. Titanoboa's final warning. Why nature doesn't need us. Titanoboa didn't go extinct because it was weak. It vanished because the planet changed its rules. Temperature dropped. Carbon levels fell. Ecosystems tightened. And Titanoboa no longer fit. That should scare us. Because right now, we are the Titanoboa. Oversized. Resource-hungry. Dependent on conditions staying exactly right. Titanoboa teaches a brutal lesson biology doesn't sugarcoat. Nature does not negotiate. Nature does not care about dominance. Nature only rewards balance. For millions of years, Titanoboa ruled without cities, without machines, without technology. When the environment shifted slightly, it disappeared without a trace. No monuments. No legacy. No warning. And that's the most uncomfortable truth of all. If a creature that powerful could be erased so cleanly, what makes us think we're different? Titanoboa isn't just a prehistoric monster. It's a mirror. A reminder that the Earth has had kings before, and it has buried every single one of them. The final realization, why this story matters. Titanoboa isn't terrifying because it was big. It's terrifying because it proves something we avoid admitting. Nature doesn't have a maximum. It has conditions. Change the planet. And biology follows. Which means our belief that giants can't exist anymore is not science. It's assumption. Titanoboa lived because Earth allowed it. And Earth is changing again. Rising temperatures. Expanding wetlands. Oxygen-rich ecosystems returning in fragments. We tell ourselves this story has already ended. But history shows something far more unsettling. When the planet recreates conditions, life remembers what to do. Titanoboa may be gone. But the rules it lived under are quietly coming back. And that's the part no one wants to